I'm going to show you how to make a vanilla pound cake. You need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 3 eggs at room temperature. You're going to need 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter. But here I'm using salted butter, so I'm going to omit the salt. But you're going to use unsalted. You're going to use 1 teaspoon of salt as well. 1 cup of milk. You're going to need 1½ cups of sugar, 1/4 cup of lemon juice, and 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Here I've added 3/4 of a cup of butter at room temperature with the sugar, and we're going to cream the two together. You're going to cream it till it's light and fluffy. Now, after creaming the butter and sugar together until it's light and fluffy, we're going to start adding the eggs one at a time. Add 1 egg, and you're going to allow it to beat until it's well combined. Adding the eggs one at a time and allowing it to incorporate will keep your butter and sugar light and fluffy. Now you're going to add the vanilla extract. If you're using a mixing or a stand mixer that doesn't have a scraper attachment, you will need to stop your mixer and scrape down the sides of your bowl to make sure all the sugar and eggs is mixed well together with the butter. Now you're going to add half of the flour. What I've done was I mixed the flour and baking powder together. I sifted the two together. So add half of the flour, and you're going to mix it just until it is combined. It doesn't have to be perfectly combined, but just until it's coming together as you see here. Now that it's starting to come together, you're going to add the milk and the lemon juice. And we're going to turn it on, and we're going to mix it just until it's starting to become a little bit smooth. And as you see here, it's starting to come together smoothly. And now add the remaining flour. Anytime you're baking a homemade cake, you always want to start with your dry ingredient and end with the dry ingredient. This will make sure your cake comes out light and fluffy. And also it keeps the batter from getting too heavy and too thin. Mix it until it's combined. And that's it. That's literally how long you're going to mix that cake. This is to keep the gluten from building up and also to keep it from getting hard. Using a bowl scraper, we're going to literally scrape down the sides of the bowl just to make sure everything is well combined. And now I'm going to put this in a buttered and floured. You can line the pan with parchment paper, or you can use foil lined parchment paper. And this foil lined baking paper, you would just brush the top of that down or rub it down with butter as well. But do make sure you completely butter and flour your pan. Add half of the mixture into the pan, and you're going to smooth it out evenly. This is going to bake in a 350-degree oven that's been preheated for 40 to 50 minutes. Do not open your oven until at least 30 minutes has passed. This will prevent your cake from drying out, and also it will keep your cake from cracking. And as you'll see here in the end of the video, my cake did crack because I was baking 2 items at the same time, and I had to open the oven up to take one of the items out, and I should have waited towards the end of the baking process to put the other pan in the oven. If you did not open your oven door and your cake still comes out cracked, that means your oven is too hot. So you may need to drop the temperature down a little bit, or you could possibly beat your cake too long, or you did not measure your ingredients precisely. But if the cake is moist and it's fine, you can cover the cracks up. If you're that pedantic, you can use a glaze or some buttercream frosting and drizzle it on the top to cover the cracks. And this is what the cake will look like. I took it out the pan. I took a knife and went down the sides of the pan, flipped it out, and I'm pulling the paper off. And you're going to allow it to cool completely before cutting to the cake. But I hope you guys try this pound cake recipe and enjoy it. Please do not forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions about this recipe, please feel free to contact me.